I was surprised by that trade. I saw the notification right away on my phone, and it's like Rantanen got traded. I'm like, who the hell got Rantanen? And I saw Carolina. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, I kind of came out of left field.
Because we talked about like on our tier list video, we talked about how Carolina needed one more piece, and like they kind of got it in a way. And I think they did because even with the leaks that were coming out, they were like, oh, they gave a Kotkaniemi, they gave out Necas,
right,
and all these pieces.
Yeah,
and you're like, okay, maybe he's not the piece. But I think the fact that they kept Kotkaniemi and Jordan Staal still on the team, so then you kind of got two middle six centers, and now you got Rantanen. I think that's a huge boost for them.
The thing with Carolina, this is like their first bona fide superstar.
Yeah.
Right?
Where
it's
come on.
like
we just Rantanen's a superstar now? That's what we're going to get.
I'll refrain from further comment, but go ahead. Okay, so he's
a well over a point per game right now. He'll score. I think he already leads the team. Like he's one of those superstars that you never kind of end up in free agency getting if you're Carolina, right? So you kind of beat the punch already. Like look at the Gensel, right? Gensel obviously didn't re-sign, but they got that player. But with Rantanen now, you have the chance to obviously offer him a bigger contract, and one of his best friends is Aho as well. So it kind of helps.
Because a countryman, right?
Yeah,
they got the Finnish mafia going there.
Yeah.
So what's the final verdict on the Colorado front? Was it that they didn't want to pay him more than McKinnon?
Oh yeah.
So was it
because he was willing to take a discount too.
Yeah.
That's they say that, but what's it? Yeah, exactly.
What's the discount?
Like what's going on?
Well, what if he's like, I want 16, but I'll take a discount of 14?
No, I think the discount probably was $12 million to him, and I don't think the team saw him as a $12 million
What's
player.
McKinnon making
Not even
right
12?
I don't like. I feel like the team probably.
I don't think he is a $12 million player to begin with. To be honest,
I think the way they saw him,
he'll get it.
No, but I don't think he's worth the $12 million, in my opinion.
Right.
Because someone on Twitter made a good point that they've been watching him play for what 8 years now or 6 years now.
Yeah.
And they've seen how good of a player he is. If they're not willing to pay him that much money, they probably see something, and that's why they probably decide to trade him like right away.
Yeah, instead of waiting.
I'm telling you, they saw the Razak stat, man. 25 goals and only 2 of them you scored by yourself. Come on, you ain't shit. You ain't slick like that. You ain't pass out your organization if you barely put the puck in the net by yourself.
But it should have been something that they addressed earlier. Than if it was the case that they're not going to pay him more than McKinnon or whatever the rationale was. Like, okay, if that's the case, and the guy's going to ask for more money and the cap's going up, then why are you lingering this on? The value only diminishes as time progresses.
I think the best way to handle like anything like this is trade him before the season even starts.
Right.
If you can't get any contract done before the season starts, if you have a feeling you're going to trade him, then you might as well get the move done way before, because then you have more teams to deal with too, right? I'm pretty sure Carolina obviously was like the big fish, but you could probably get one of those teams with actual assets too, because their return was okay. Like Necas is a good player,
great, but
Drury's okay, and then the picks are like second and fourth. You didn't give up a first. You didn't get a first for that either.
I like that trade for Colorado though. Like
I don't love it.
I like the trade too.
I think
it could have been worse.
I think they needed like one more piece to like completely sell me on it.
Oh, I mean, no, Martin Necas is a point per game guy, right? So like that's pretty up there in value. He's got another year after this year on his contract, so that's a better asset than Rantanen in my opinion, because he's expiring on a UFA. So it's not like Colorado got blackballed. You know what? You're talking to Todd. Maybe. What do you guys think about this? Maybe Colorado was banking that Rantanen wasn't going to have an exceptional year this year, and then they're like, we'll get him on a cheaper deal because they don't value him as up here.
Yeah.
But then what happened was Rantanen, he's like, top 10 in scoring or something, right?
Yeah.
So and maybe that's what's led to the decision to flip him now.
But wouldn't you? But why would you think anything like that? If you're the reason he's playing with McKinnon, if you're trying to set this guy up for failure not have a great season, you might as well just tell the coach, hey, you got to put this guy on his own line.
For sure.
Like, send a message like, this guy got to start playing on his own line. Power play, we'll give him power play with them, obviously, right? But like, he has to play on his own line. Like, you should have sent that message earlier on in the season if you want to sabotage this guy's season.
But they have been playing. I guess they were
at times. They played separately, yeah.
But yeah, I see your point, Razak. I agree with you. Maybe they should put him on the third line and benched him, but then he wouldn't have signed at all, right?
This Carolina run will be his true test, because you don't have like an elite player like
passing the puck,
McKinnon or McCarr, on your team now.
Well,
now you are the elite.
Now
player.
you are the elite player.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into too much. I still think Aho is going to be the elite guy for them. Because I don't think
offensively though, the Rantanen is better offensively
for everything, man. Because it's one thing to be the man on the team, right? Which Aho's been for a few years now. It's another thing to chill off.
Aho leading the team in points.
JP, you sound like Ric Flair right there. You're like Ric Flair for bro.
To be the man. We were talking about Rantanen as this guy who's been like a trigger man.
Yeah.
Right. So how can we put a trigger man at he's going to be the guy over someone who's shown an ability to drive the play, shown deep playoff runs, and he's been essentially the guy. Now, granted, his numbers aren't as great as Rantanen. But I think Aho's still going to be a driving force. He's the center on the team.
100%.
I mean, I think Aho might end. I mean, I think Rantanen is going to be developing, posting more points
Damn.
if either of them are producing. You know, he's above point per game player his whole career too. And when he was on his own line, he played pretty well.
Right.
And it's not like he's playing with outside of McKinnon. It's not like they have another elite centerman on that team, or like a guy who's even close to elite centerman. Like they have Casey Middlestat, he's good, and Ross Colton's okay too.
But welcome to a real defensive system in Carolina, right? Like his numbers are going to take a dip because it's not like he's going to have those same opportunities as he did in Colorado.
Right.
That being said, I do like the move for Carolina.
Oh, Carolina,
like you said, Sartaj, we talked about it. Like they needed a piece, and this is a quality piece.
It's a great piece
at the end of the day, right? It's still a top line,
100%.
bona fide guy. I wonder what this does for Marner, if anything.
I think Marner's, to be honest, if we're going player to player, I think Marner's a bit better player than him, to be honest with you guys.
No, but does Marner think like, okay, like Rantanen has signaled that he wants top dollar. You think Marner's thinking, okay, I'm going to get a top dollar too?
It depends.
If he wants to stay in Toronto, he has to take a discount.
Yeah, he has to take a discount.
Yeah.
You think so?
He has to.
Yeah, in Toronto he'll have to.
Yeah.
But who knows? In Toronto,
Try and give him 14.
Toronto probably give him 14. Like, yeah.
But then Toronto just say if Toronto gives him 14,
They're just gonna double down.
You're just double down on the same
just
system
did,
that
yeah.
hasn't worked for like 10 years now.
You just do the same thing you just did 8 years ago,
Yeah.
and now you're
Now
repeating
you're
it again.
repeating the same mistakes.
Yeah.
And like at one point you're gonna be like, oh, we gotta move on from the situation that we have, and we have to retool this team around Austin Matthews and Nylander, and build a proper, have those two guys as your 1-2, your Crosby, Malkin, and then have a bunch of wingers with them.
Right.
At this point, like some point you gotta do that. You can't have just all three of these guys making
like over 12.
over like fucking.
What's the Leafs cap situation?
16.
Well, that was because at the end of the day, we can point fingers wherever we want for Toronto. I think the big reason why they haven't really gone over the edge is that $11 million John Tavares Albatross contract.
That's
right.
true.
Like that's probably
that does also
reason.
help that he's
Right?
He's off the books this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they'll take some of that and they'll pay Marner accordingly.
Yeah, if you're Marner up, you're 10, if you can go to like 12.5.
Oh, come on, he's getting at least.
No, I'm saying
13
that
million.
as a discount, like 12.5.
No. He's getting 13 million.
At least
12.5 is done, right? Leon's at 14 now, which means that
Yeah, but you're saying he's better than Leon?
No.
13.
No, I'm saying but like.
But if for a discount, he'll go 12.5?
Yeah.
No, 13 is a discount. Market
I
value
think
is 14.
I think 13's the money he'll get.
Right,
He's not going over Matthews.
That's what Mikko was saying on discount too, right? Like,
Yo, Mikko wanted 16 and he's like, but I'll take 13 as a discount.
Mikko wasn't going to get 16 anywhere.
no, Mikko.
Mikko's getting
14 was like his wish.
Right, and then maybe he was saying 13 was a discount. They're like, yo, Colorado's like, we're at 11.6, 11.7.
What do you think?
We're not even at 12.
Carolina's gonna offer him then as money because
Carolina's offering the max.
So Carolina's thing is their owner is like pretty involved with a lot of the things they do, and he always tries to push the fact that like taxes and shit are lower in Carolina than anywhere else. So that's why players usually try taking a lower deal in Carolina. So I'm pretty sure if he does sign there, he won't sign for
might as well go
as much
to
as
Tampa or Florida at that point. You get no taxes.
It's gonna depend on how they do and like how he fits in. What's his production looking like?
Yeah.
But Carolina is not exactly like a bona fide free agent destination, right? So they had to gamble at some point.
Yeah.
How else would they would have acquired someone
their
like this?
biggest signing or whatever player is Jeff O'Neill, and he's just getting thrown with the Toronto all the time.
I think they gotta hope that the Rantanen Aho relationship is like solid, and it kind of keeps him there too, attracts him to stay.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be pushing it now that the Four Nations also probably help them.
Play together.
Yeah,
that's the reason why they wanted to make the trade earlier, just so they could have more chemistry during the Four Nations.
I think he's still a hired gun though at this point. If they don't get to the conference finals, he's probably dipping.
Yeah,
right.
Or pull Marion Host and just go to another team.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
That's happening.
Just go join whichever team loses.
Whichever team they lose to the Stanley Cup.
Vegas or
now Marion Hossa, if you injected him now, that's like a bona fide top line guy.
Yeah,
right?
that's true. That's true.
Rantanen, there are still questions out there.
He's still got to prove it.
Yeah,
especially on his own line.
Yeah.
Even with like your center, you still got to show that.
Well, Marion Hossa was Marion Hossa played with a lot of good players throughout his career.
Kovalchuk,
Alfredson.
I was listening to
Crosby, Lemieux.
Yeah,
Elliot Friedman a few days. Like I saw a random clip, and he said that what this indicates Colorado not pointing up for Rantanen is that like some of these teams, when the cap keeps going up and it's going to get close to $100 million, they're not going to be playing at that $100 million.
They're going to keep
they're going to be lower, and they're going to be pushed to the league like, hey, lower the cap. We can't afford this. Is a little too much for us. A little too hefty. And if that's the case for Colorado, then that kind of sucks for McKinnon and McCarr, right? Because if I'm McKinnon and McCarr and it's like the cap keeps going up, Florida and some of these teams spend accordingly. Vancouver, obviously, Toronto, we're going to be spending to that level. And then Colorado's like, no, we're going to take a little bit of a discount on that, then why would you stay if you're McKinnon or McCarr, right?
Isn't the Colorado owner the guy that owns the Nuggets and owns the Rams?
Also owns
Arsenal,
Arsenal too.
Yeah.
So this motherfucker's out here cutting off
Somebody's gotta take
the
a hit.
budget. All
Right,
all
like,
no,
somebody's
but
gotta
every
take a
single hit across the board. Every single
No.
hit.
It's only Colorado Avalanche. Arsenal, we're gonna get our money, all right?
Right, you guys look at those lucrative franchises you guys named. Like, oh, we have Colorado. It's probably fucking barely treading water compared to Arsenal and the Denver Nuggets and some of these other things that he owns.
100%. You can't take their money and pay for the Colorado Avalanche to at least get $100 million.
Avalanche it was probably a throw-in deal for the Nuggets anyways. Like, all right, fine.
I'll take you guys too.
Fuck, I don't want them, but all right, whatever.
I'll take them, I guess.
Yeah, when they're a good team, they're gonna win the cup. All right, whatever.
Whatever. I don't need
Maybe we
it.
can sell them off.
I'm trading Ryan. I don't give a shit if they win 10 cups.
I wonder what that means for like other teams too, like Carolina, for example. Like they're not gonna spend up to $100 million.
They haven't shown that in the past.
Is this gonna
right?
become like a baseball situation then? Like basically like the teams that don't spend are gonna be like ass, and then the teams that do spend like Florida or Vegas, they're actually gonna keep being contenders because they're willing to pay the price.
I think it's very speculatory at this point because the NHL cap hasn't really gone up until now, right?
Yeah.
So like, okay, maybe Elliott's speculating, saying like Colorado's not going to pony up, but if revenue goes up accordingly, and that's how they're projecting the cap's going up because they think that the NHL is going to be generating this much revenue. If it keeps going up, then I think we're going to see what we've been seeing since the cap era, which is most teams are going to be spending to that
the ceiling.
Yeah, and then you have maybe 5 teams that are like really bottoming out.
Right.
But most teams do try to spend to the cap.
Yeah.
I was gonna say just like that'd be funny to see how the Canadian teams actually spend.
That's a whole different issue because of the depreciating dollar, right?
That's true.
I heard rumors are you're looking at Latin America and you're not really fucking with Canada anymore, and you're leaving the country. That's what I heard on the block. I thought it'd be more India, truth be told, but
I'm not going that far out. Why would I go back to where we started from?
Speak for yourself. I started in Maple Ridge, man. But out of the 4 of us here, you've been the biggest advocate for the Colorado Avalanche, right? As them being a contender.
Yeah.
So how do you look at this move for Necas with McKinnon? What do you think?
I like it because you know what? To be honest, I did give that stat about Rantanen. Now it's like Shrtaj mentioned, is do or die for him. Mm-hmm. He has to show like, oh, I am that player,
right?
Or he's gonna show, oh, maybe he's the guy that we've seen a lot of players that wanted out, and in the Canucks, Anson Carter. He wanted a little bit more money because he thought he was the shit.
Right.
And he didn't think
he said he made the Sedins. Right?
Yeah, he made the Sedins, which was the opposite.
77 reasons.
Yeah, 77 reasons, 100%.
33 goals.
And he started asking for more money, and and it didn't work out well for him.
Yeah.
But
shout out to Columbus.
But exactly. So now Rantanen has to show the fact that he is a top guy.
Well, what about on the Necas front though? Do you think that you think that's fine for Colorado?
He played well.
He looked good against New York when they played New Rangers. Him and McKinnon looked like a good 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think what they did was like replaced whatever Rantanen was doing with Necas.
I think.
Okay, so Charge, onset you said that you didn't really like the returns, but
I still think they could have got more based off the hype that Rantanen has, right? Like at least a first round pick could have came in there too because you got a second and a fourth. I don't know how good of a prospect player Jack Drury is. He's a younger player for sure. But I think a first round pick at least should have came back because this guy is been in like the top 15 in scoring every year.
He's won a cup. He's got stuff too.
He got a lot of things.
But he was on an expiring deal at the end of the day. Maybe that's what.
Right.
Because they got a second back.
Second and fourth,
and they got Necas too, which is a good asset.
It's also a Carolina second.
How old is Necas?
Late second round pick.
57th to 61st pick.
Yeah. Yeah, he's on a 2-year deal. That's a good part though for them. And I mean, I kind of let you bring in somebody else next year probably, or maybe even this year if you want to.
Yeah, if you want, they got moves to make.
This is good for. I mean, great. How this all panned out for Carolina because they never really messed with Necas like that.
Yeah.
And that's why they gave him like that 2-year deal in the offseason. They didn't want to pay him long term. They probably were doing like backflips and everything else when he started off the gate and he was leading the league in scoring and doing everything like that. Like, oh, now we got this guy's value up to here.
Yeah.
And then we flipped him accordingly. Like you said, Sertaj, no need to give up the first because you have this quote unquote premium asset now in Necas.
Yeah.
It worked out wonderfully for Carolina.
It was great for them. Great deal for them all around. I thought they just made away with like as bandits, whatever the fuck the saying is.
Right. Yeah. No. English is my second language.
Same here.
I agree with your sentiment.
I was gonna say, but I think he did get a point today in this game. But
he got an assist today.
Assist, right? Second goal, I think. But I want to see like his scoring output if it's gonna be the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it'll be a dip just because of the system Carolina plays.
Sure.
And so, but if
He will be their trigger man on the power play.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Definitely.
But it's a different power play when you don't got McKinnon and McCarr ducking and diving three guys and then just giving you a nice pass across.
I think the system thing, and then on top of that, I think Carolina is more spread out than Colorado is. Like I think they use more. They're more of like a 3-4 line team than Colorado's. Like McKinnon and McCarr will do a lot of the heavy lifting, and then everybody else kind of like secondary scoring.
Yeah,
exactly. And right. I got nothing to add on that.
Turns it back down.
Well, because I was saying Sid already mentioned earlier.
100%. But it does it changes the game now especially for Mitch Marner now. Let's see how that shit goes through. Because now if you're Mitch, Colorado did Ratton dirty a little bit in that kind of sense that he was ready to sign that deal.
He says, right?
He says, that's what he says, right?
Yeah, and like
we don't know both sides. The agent could be playing us too and be like, yeah, I was ready. He was ready to sign, and maybe his signing was 15 million, and he's like, I'll take 13. I'll take 13.
It's kind of weird that we haven't heard anything about like the negotiations with Marner either, right? Like it's kind of quiet on that.
Usually there'll be a lot of noise, right?
Yeah, that guy's entering free agency.
I think Toronto ends up keeping him just because they actually believe in themselves as contenders. I don't know if Colorado saw themselves as contenders.
Wow.
No, because I don't think you'd move him if you actually saw, if you're like, okay, we're contend with this team we have right here. We're keeping all the pieces together. The guys who won us cup, we're going to stick together, and then we're going to try putting pieces around them and win with this core. And then we'll deal with this guy in the offseason.
But at the same time, Sertaj, maybe they looked at it like we are contenders, but we're not good enough contenders to be paying Mikko the $14 million or whatever he wanted.
In the offseason.
Right? Like we don't have that much to play with, so to speak. Every cent does count on the cap. And especially for Colorado, because they've been decimated after they won the cup. They lost a few guys due to cap issues, Kadri, and things like that. Right? So they've already been thin enough. A few years ago, I think it's a different story, like you're saying, when they were more loaded. Before those cap issues really came to play.
What's funny to me is seeing all the people online be like, Nathan McKinnon, Nathan McKinnon's probably going to go to shit now because Ratton's not there. Because they always bring up the fact that he wasn't doing well and then Ratton came and then they both started doing it. Facts. I'm like, this guy had 40 more good points than Ratton last year.
Well, those 3 years when Ratton was there, Zach, this guy's...
What was he doing?
He looks so deadly though when you watch him play now, like compared to like maybe those years when he was struggling. You watch him play, you're like, oh, he's such a...
If you watch him play the last 4 years, you could tell this guy's on a different level than Ratton.
Yeah.
He's just the way he moves, making moves out here. He actually makes moves. Ratton's like, oh damn, you making moves, huh?
He's like, I'm open.
Let me just glide in a little bit.
Once I think Ratton signs, we'll get like further details as to like what Colorado offered, and like, let's see if he even doesn't sign in Carolina, what Carolina offers. Because just because he gets traded to Carolina, if Carolina doesn't like what they see, they're like, all right, we're not going to pay you that premium either, right? Go get it from Columbus, go get it from somebody will do it. Other teams. Buffalo paid Jeff Skinner 9. They're going to definitely will do 14 for Mikko.
Like we said before, right? So somebody's going to come and be like, yeah, we'll pay you just because we need to take the next step, and you might be the guy to take us there. Yeah. Somebody can do that easily, come in with 14 mil, 15 mil.
Oh, especially with the cap going up too, right? Because like in years past, the cap would only go up by $1 million or so. So it's like, but now when you have like this influx of like 5 million, come on,
that's massive.
Right?
Yeah, it's a game changer.